prosecute. Let's discuss the state of play on the email scandal and what else is going on in this race with the chief strategist and communication director for the Republican National Committee, Mr. Sean Spicer. Sean, know you're very busy. Thank you for making time for New Day this morning.
Good morning, Chris. Thank you for having me.
So, Sean, do you want to own the allegation from your presumptive nominee that Hillary Clinton got off from the email situation because she bribed the Attorney General?
Well, here's what I do know. The evidence that Director Comey laid out yesterday was the definition of gross negligence. It is the textbook definition of gross negligence. He laid it all out, and then he came to a conclusion that I don't know how he came to. He literally, yesterday was an indictment on Hillary Clinton's judgment, and it was an indictment on Hillary Clinton's fitness to be president. To put it in terms that everyone would understand, imagine getting an A in every class and then having someone say, but you're not going to graduate. It doesn't add up. And so I don't know how you can explain a situation where the Attorney General has a private meeting with the former president, her husband, on one day. She gets special treatment the next day to go in to the FBI on a Saturday morning of a 3-day holiday weekend. And then Tuesday morning after that, they announce, hey, despite all of this overwhelming evidence, despite the fact that we admit that she lied, that there was classified information on her server, despite the fact that she set that server up for the intent of evading detection, that we're not going to come to the conclusion of this, despite the fact that there are hundreds, if not dozens, if not hundreds of people that have worked for the government that have been prosecuted for lesser crimes. I don't understand how he came to that conclusion. And I do think for the average American looking at this system, they have to think something's weird about it.
Well, two points. One, as Comey laid out, and I think you'll probably hear more from him, whether or not he gets dragged onto Capitol Hill to discuss it or not, is very rarely, almost never, has this statute been prosecuted on the basis of even gross negligence, which he didn't say yesterday, right? He said extreme carelessness. We're all drawing inferences about what he meant to say. Was it a wink? Was it a nod? But it's almost always done on the basis of intent, and it's almost always prosecuted when someone then lies to the FBI. And those are important distinguishing characteristics. The other point is, I don't hear you saying the word bribe. You don't like certain things about this, but you're not calling it a bribe. Your presumptive nominee did. Should he have?
Well, that's up to him to decide. I'm only going to go with what I know and the facts that are laid out.
But shouldn't he be going with that, Sean? Do you want your presumptive nominee going beyond the facts and coming up with something that is a very charged statement?
Right, and I think that he has every right to decide how he wants to present the contrast with Hillary Clinton and make the case that he wants to make. And I'll stick with the case that I'm comfortable making and the way I want to present it. And the way I want to present it is to say when Hillary Clinton didn't just have a Gmail account or a Yahoo account that she was using on the side, she literally set up an entire email system, put in multiple servers to evade detection, to make sure that she could communicate privately outside the rules and regulations that she actually signed a form to abide by. So I believe that intent was very clear from the beginning. Anybody can see it. The reason she set this up was actually with the explicit intent to avoid detection. That's why it was set up. It wasn't somebody sat around and said, hey, I have a Gmail account. Can you send this to me once in a while? Or, hey, I'm going to blind copy my Gmail account so I can respond if the State Department emails down. They literally set up this private server. She was warned multiple times about not abiding by the rules and the concerns that people had on security measures, and she disavowed each time one. Hillary Clinton has a set of rules for her and a set of rules for every other American. And what the FBI director laid out yesterday was clear that she knew what she was doing was wrong, she was reckless, and there was a culture at the State Department of a unrecognizable importance of national security. And this is a person who wants to be president of the United States, commander-in-chief, overseer of the national security, who will be getting daily briefings, who will see the most sensitive intelligence. Right. And who has now been told by the director of the FBI that they have blatant disregard for maintaining that security.
There's no question that while it may not be a crime, it certainly can be seen as a political crime and is going to play out in the election. On the other side of the ledger, where is the party's stance on the email over the weekend by Donald Trump with the Star of David in the referenced image, and on what he just said about Saddam Hussein, which kind of seemed like a compliment for him being good at killing people, specifically terrorists?
Well, with respect to the the email that you were referencing, I think the social media director of the campaign has answered that. It was done rather sloppily in terms of the intent was not to be disparaging in anything, but they chose an image that wasn't proper. They took it down, corrected it, and it was a mistake, and it won't happen again.
Never apologize.
Look at someone like Donald Trump. Hold on. I think he basically said it was a mistake. Whether you get into exact wording is not for me to decide. But I think the bigger point that I look at when you look at a guy like Donald Trump is in 1985, 30 years ago when he wasn't running for anything, when the liberals that controlled Palm Beach County said that blacks and Jews and other minorities weren't allowed in any of the elite clubs, Donald Trump went down, bought a club, Mar-a-Lago, and said, my club is open to everybody. I don't care what color your skin is. I don't care what religion you belong to. I want to open a club that is available to everybody. So you look at the character of an individual and the actions that they took well before he was running for president of the United States, well before he was in the public spotlight that he is today. And those actions speak volumes for who the man is and the kind of person that he is and the kind of actions that he would take as president and the way he would lead. And I think that that's what is important, not whether someone made a misstep on Twitter, but the actions and the kind of person that he is. And this goes back 30 years, as I said. So when it comes to the character of who he is, the type of person and the way he'd govern, the way he believes in looking at individuals, he is someone who has shown over the course of 3 decades that he looks at people not because of the color of their skin or their religion, as equals, as people, not as part of a group. And so, you know, when you had a group of liberal elites down in Palm Beach that were deciding to be racist and anti-Semitic, it was Donald Trump that came to the rescue and said, I will fight tooth and nail for everybody to be a part of the club that I want to open down here.
That was a very effective defense of his character and a shot at the liberal elite at the same time. Sean Spicer with the twofer. We're 11 days away from the RNC convention. We're still waiting on that speaker list. I know that you say Trump's going to put it out. We will see you soon. Thank you for being on the show this morning.
You bet. Look forward to seeing you in